Good day to each and everyone, especially to our instructor, Madam Suzette Saplat. I am Anna Binjel Sorda from Group 2, and as we research about the psychological theories of art integration, we stumbled upon a site called Frontiers. Its website is www.frontierscene.org, and the title of the article is Art and Psychological Well-Being, Linking the Brain to the Aesthetic Emotion. So, to begin with, without further ado, empirical study suggests that art improves health and well-being among individuals. However, how aesthetic appreciation affects our cognitive and emotional states to promote physical and psychological well-being is still unclear. In this review, we consider the idea that the positive emotion output elicited from the aesthetic experience affects mood and indirectly promotes health and well-being. First, we examine evidence that arts promoting well-being involve art museums, healthcare settings, and education. Second, we review some neuroimaging studies addressing aesthetic experience and emotional processing. In particular, we leveraged advances in neuroaesthetics to explore different hypotheses about the determinants of aesthetic pleasure during art reception, in the attempt to clarify how experiencing art promotes well-being. Finally, we propose research on aesthetic experience and psychophysiological measures of stress, with the goal of promoting a focused use of art as a tool for improving well-being and health. So, with thorough research, we stumbled upon this study, and this study is all about how art affects the mood, the physical well-being, or the mental well-being of a person. Its goal is to provide or promote a focused use of arts as a tool for improving well-being and health. So, the researchers in this article examine evidence that art promoting well-being. Then they also review some neuroimaging studies, and also they provide a description of how art can help improve the mood and the mental health of a person. Moreover, in arts and education, several studies have been conducted on the efficacy of art-based intervention in professional education, demonstrating a growing interest for this field and posing challenging opportunities for the traditional learning methods that shape the current teaching practice. By Richard 2007 and Leonard et al. 2018. Art-based pedagogy is focused on the integration of an art form, for example, theater, visual art, painting, music, etc., with another subject matter to enhance learning process by Rieger and Chernomas 2013. So just like from our last discussion, in art and education in this article is also all about how the teachers use art to teach other subjects, so that to make the learning more efficient and more fun and amenable. Then, on the other hand, in learning through art, the learner approaches a subject matter, creating art, responding to art, or performing artistic work, not by studying art as theoretical discipline by Rieger and Chernomas 2013. So, diri na aning statement kay ang student kay learn sila through art, responding to an art, creating an artwork, but not thoroughly on a art subject. For example, just like my example last meeting, like you teach kindergarten kids the alphabets. So when they sing the alphabets, they are more than capable to remember it more clearly. In that, it improves the mental process of the kids, and they can remember it quickly and easily by singing the alphabet. So we use art to give knowledge to children and teach easily, but in another subject. So that's it. Then in that case, teaching is more efficient and fun. Yeah. So one might wonder how the emotional experience elicited by the appreciation of diverse forms of art enable individuals to feel better and learn quickly and effectively, and whether the boosting effect of art on these different domains forms a basis of a common cognitive or affective mechanism. So, like the statement, like when you and your students had a field trip to an art museum, like when you're in an art museum, the mood is amenable and it will improve your mood by seeing the pictures, the different art forms. It will leave you in awe, like that. Then, different art forms make an individual's moods to improve, or psychological health will be improved. Like in education and educating elementary levels, arts can help the cognitive and mental health of the children to improve. or mental state. Like in science, when you talk about different parts of the bodies, like you will let them see like I have two hands, the left and the right, so they can learn the left and the right, and also they can learn that they have two hands. Like they will sing like the numbers that can affect them psychologically because they will learn more effectively, and their mood will also improve. They will not be bored, and their interest will be on your discussion because of the fun the song gives. For example, it's like you teach PE, so when they exercise, it's good to exercise when there's music, and and you use Zumba. So Zumba is also an art form because it's dancing. So that's it. You use arts. It can again improve mental state of the students. So by implementing art or by art integration in education, students' psychological well-being will be improved and teaching will be more effective and easy, and it's way more efficient and effective. In that case, the learners and the teachers will happily engage in learning and sharing. There will be more knowledge to give and to receive. In that case, while learning, the children's mood will be happy, and it improves their psychological well-being, not to be stressed or to be pressured, because it includes fun. Like when you use a song to teach your children in subject, you use any art forms, figurines to show your students, and it will catch their attentions. So just like ourselves, we ourselves will be more glad if there's an art in teaching, because it will be so boring if it's plain discussion, like not including arts. Diba, we were be more than glad to watch a movie and make an art form, sing a song, than to plainly listen to any discussion. No question for you to ponder you yourself. Diba, it's hard to learn without arts. It's hard to learn not to be creative. It's hard to memorize, not to learn some strategies, not to be creative in learning. Like it's help your memorization when you give a tone to that words or to give a pattern to that words. Right? It's more effective to include arts in every discussion, in every subject, to make learning fun and efficient. In my own opinion, this article is all about, or this study is all about how art helps the teachers or the individuals to be more effective in learning, to be more creative in their daily lives, to avoid stress, and appreciate the colorful and creative artworks that art gives. I also believe that everything in this world are made of arts, and it's impossible not to use art in any ways of learning. That's all. Thank you. Again, I'm Manawin Chelsea Besorda, and that's my topic all about. I will give you to the other members of our group to continue our discussion. Thank you.
To report our assigned topics. First is introduction. Aesthetic experience is concerned appreciation of aesthetic object and the resulting pleasure. Such a pleasure is not derived from the utilitarian properties of the object, but linked to the instructive qualities of the aesthetic object themselves. Hence, the aesthetic pleasure is disinterested. From the word of aesthetic experience, it is a concern with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. According to Kant on 1790, aesthetic experience kuno mo arise by appreciation of human artifact na matawag siyang artworks. Mao ni mga example sa artworks. First is poetry, second is capture music, third one is visual arts, and etc. Kung nasa mga natural object na pwede natong tawagon nga artwork, first is sunset, next is mountain vista. So mao ni nga mga itawag siyang natural it because they are not made by human. Exist sila pagka-exist sa kalibutan. So example, you can paint a scenario like sunset and sunrise, and by that way ma-show nimo ang appreciation sa nature o sa art. So in overall, the aesthetic experience di ay is associated or connected di ay with the appreciation of artwork, particularly in visual arts. So aesthetic experience are offered by multiple contexts. Example, museum, galleries, churches, etc. Several psychological perspectives consider aesthetic experience as a rewarding process and suggested a link between aesthetic experience and pleasure. So, according to Berlin 1974, Literatal 2004, Sylvia is 2005, aesthetic experience kuno makita sa kadaghanan ng lugar, but ang perfect example ani nila is the following. First is museum. Sa museum makita na sila mga artifact, diba, mga sa mga kuan, mga paint, di ba? Na ito mga art sa museum kanang mga kuan sagrado ra dili para sa mata ba. So sa galleries, sa churches, sa mga church na dito mga rebulto, di ba? Etc. Nagaingon sa diha na ang aesthetic experience kuno is considered kuno as a rewarding process para makahatag og kalipay sa mga tao. So recent studies suggest that the arts can promote health and psychological well-being and offer the therapeutic tools for many example adolescent, elderly, and vulnerable individual. So according to Dekin et al. 2008, Todd et al. 2017, Thompson et al. 2018, who was studies and suggests na ang art kuno is pwedeng gamiton tools para i-heal ang mga sakit na adolescent, elderly, mga tiguang, and especially vulnerable individual like na ay problema sa pangutok or kanang nay gamay sa tawag nila nga kuan specific na mental na sakit. So kaning artwork pwede siyang gamiton as a tools according nila Denkin, Tour at Thompson. So aesthetic experience has been associated with mindful meditation as it leads to enhancing the capability of perceptually engaging with an object. So according to Harrison and Clark on 2016, aesthetic experience kuno has been associated or connected unsa kuno ka curious ang usa ka tawo sa mga nakita ng mga butang, then mauna siya nakapa-enhance sa capability sa usa ka tawo for being thinker sa mga butang nga labay na. So however, how aesthetic experience affect cognitive and emotional state and promote physically psychological well-being is matter of debate. According to Rankin et al. 2008, nakapikto sa diay ang aesthetic experience sa imong cognitive or pangutok and emotional by debate. So, according to Leader et al. 2004, Catherine J. and Bartania 2006, Perovsky et al. 2017, na several theoretical models have been proposed or suggesting alternating key rules for cognitive or emotional facet of aesthetic experience. A common theme in the models is the aesthetic evaluation of an artwork is the result of bottom-up stimulus properties and top-down cognitive appraisals. So, according to Kobovi 1999, such et al. 2005, the result or effect mood therefore promoting health and well-being.
Scarrier 2005 for the distinction of emotional response and affective state are associated with recruitment of brain circuitry involved in emotion, regulation, pleasure, and reward. Thus, for instance, images related as beautiful elicit activity in reward-related areas such as medial orbitofrontal cortex and have associated with higher reward value than those rated as ugly Kawabata and Zeki 2004. Moreover, the activation of emotion processing networking comprising the ventral and dorsal striatum, the anterior and medial temporal areas, has been associated with the transit mode changes in response to a happy and sad classical music. Mitter Schifteler, 2007.
Aesthetic appreciation and well-being. Benefits associated with aesthetic processing have been demonstrated in different settings, ranging from reproductions of paintings shown in laboratories to real art contexts such as museums. In the following sections, we present a review of the main research branches on art in which a beneficial effect on health has been shown. So, aesthetics is a discipline concerned with the perception, appreciation, and production of art. Aesthetic experiences, such as looking at paintings, listening to music, or reading poems, are linked to the perception of external objects, but not to any apparent functional use the objects might have. Art in museum. Several studies show benefits of art museums as settings for therapy, Tridon 2006, Chatterjee and Noble 2013. These benefits includes improvement of memory and lower stress levels, and amelioration of social inclusion. Population studied include older individuals, Salum 2011, Thompson 2018, people with enduring mental health problems, Colbert 2013, people with dementia, Morse and Chatterjee 2018, and the socially isolated Todd 2017. Moreover, in a study with people with dementia and their caregivers, viewing traditional and contemporary galleries, both art sites promoted well-being, including positive social impact and cognitive enhancement, Comic 2014. So art in the museum. When people think of museums, art museums most often come to mind solemn places where visitors stand in silence contemplating neat rows of paintings. The exploratory, hands-on science center, the contextualized ethnographic collection, think dioramas, and the storytelling of history museums seem worlds away. But all museums have a history to tell. Museums are more than containers of things. Rather, they are complex reflections of the cultures that produced them, including their politics, social structures, and system of thought. Research has been conducted to identify the elements of the museum setting that facilitate the treatment goals, including psychological, social, environmental aspects, Salom 2011, Kamik and Chatterjee 2013, Colbert 2013, Morse and Chatterjee 2018. Museum environment and artifacts offer an extraordinary aesthetic experience that allows the recollection of positive memories, Bayesi and Caros 2016, and evidence suggests that these reminiscence activities can affect mood, self-worth, and a general sense of well-being in the elderly. Chang 2009, O'Rourke 2011, and Ikilar 2012. Museum and galleries, unlike hospitals and clinics, are non-stigmatizing settings. The art setting encourages self-reflection and group communication, facilitating the therapeutic process and thus making them ideal locations for health interventions, Comic and Chatterjee 2013. So the display of works of art presents the curator with certain problems. Works of art are exhibited to convey a visual message, while other disciplines tend to adopt deducted methods of display. The art curator is concerned particularly with unimpeded presentation of a given work. The ambience of the work is enhanced by highlighting its form and color with proper lighting and background. Another factor in the display of art objects concerns their continued preservation. Because of the sensitivity of some of the materials used in their creation, it is necessary to control within narrow limits the temperature, humidity, and lighting to which they are exposed.
The studies reviewed so far demonstrated that the value of artwork and their use in educational programs may affect the psychological and physiological states, thus promoting well-being and enhancing learning. So kaning mag-value ta or mag-appreciate or magbuhat ang isa ka artwork kanang kuan daw kanang it also affect our psychological and physiological state, but at the same time it will help us in our well-being and also kanang broadened our knowledge. Example kanang stress kaayo tanong niya kanang usahay kanang by doing some drawing or maghimo tag isa ka artwork kanang makapagaan kani sa ato ang gihunahuna niya kanang and also kanang mas daghan tag kanang daghan ta og idea sa ato ang mga ato ang buhaton nga artwork. However, as we stated above, the mechanism underlying the relationship between the art and well-being are still unclear, probably due to the fact that the determinants of aesthetic experience and its relationship with emotion processing and pleasure are still unsolved. So, ingon sila, duduhaan pa daw nga tinuod ba dyan ning art is kanang maka-help ba dyan siya sa atong well-being because others says nga dili daw tanan na magbuhat ra ta or magbuhat ra ta sa ka artwork or magtan-aw ta sa ka artwork kanang maka-lightens na siya sa atong hunahuna kanang makapagaan. So kanang the relationship between the emotion and the pleasure are still unsolved. Here, we review some neuroimage evidence detailing the neural underpinning of the relationship between the aesthetic experience and the activation of emotional states in the beholder. To provide a more comprehensive understanding of the aesthetic experience and how it provokes aesthetic emotion and pleasure in the beholder. Moreover, we relate these findings to influential models of aesthetic processing. From a psychological point of view, it has been suggested that the cognitive processing of art produces affective and often positive and pleasing aesthetic experience. Doing and viewing artworks can really lighten our feeling or mood. It may affect us, but sometimes it gives us a positive vibes and a pleasing feeling. According to the Information Processing Stage Model of Aesthetic Processing by Leader 2004, the occurrence of aesthetic pleasure depends on a satisfactory cognitive understanding of artwork. So, ingon ang information processing stage model of aesthetic processing nga ang atong satisfaction sa usa ka artwork magdepende og giunsa nato sila pagsabot. Kay sometimes na mga artwork nga lisod sa sabton, especially katong mga artwork nga wata kay baw sa iyang story. Example kanang kita tag isa ka artwork nga kanang pintik-pintik ra or tudlok-tudlok. So dili jud ta maka-appreciate no kay para nato mura ra siya og duwa-duwa ang artist pagbuhat. So but in the side sa artist na dito siya story, nato siya explanation nga lawom kanang so kita nga nitan-aw ra di jud ta kasabot kanang di ta ka-appreciate, di ta ka-value sa iyang artwork. So the better the understanding, the more reduction of ambiguity, and the higher the probability of positive aesthetic emotion. When aesthetic experience are often positive, it can be expected an increased positive effect. If we really understand a artwork, then it will give us satisfaction because other kanang artworks are confusing. So we must kanang kuan jud kanang tan-aw jud nitong tarong or ato barong kanang pangutan-on ang artist or pangutana tas kanang mga nakahibaw haron jud makarelate ta sa ilahang artwork. That's all. Thank you.
On the other hand, various theorists of emotion have been influential in describing the paradoxical enjoyment of negative emotion in art. What are the connectivity of emotions through the arts? In ideal world, emotion create feelings that flow naturally, but oftentimes they get dammed up. Whatever you're feeling these days, it can be a lot to carry. So expressing emotion through art is incredible way to release our feelings, to get out to our problem, especially if we are kind of person that really don't want to share our problems because we don't, if we're afraid to judgment, diba? If we're going to share our problems, we're going to say that so OA, so we're rating, ganon, ganon. So instead of you don't want to share your problems, just make it into the art, so convert it into art so that you can release your problems through art, which come from the individual's awareness that the represented object or event is a cultural artifact. It reduces the emotional impact of the eliciting objects or event and allows the appraisals of the aesthetic qualities of the artwork. There might be a general positive bias in the perception of art, according to her et al. On 2014. So what is a positive bias? Positive bias may denote three phenomena: a tendency for people to report positive views of reality, a tendency to hold a positive expectation, views, and memories, and lastly, a tendency to favor positive information in reasoning. So, just like the arts, dili ang contrast effect ang maong atong mauna-hunaan, kundi ang pagkisa ang painter nga nagpaint ana. Kaya ang painter nga nagpaint sa usa ka art is dili nila ginabuhat nga mas kaakit-akit ang ilang katong sunod, di ba? When you're going to art coliseum, nagsunod-sunod man ang mga painting. So, ang mga artists kay di nila ginagawa mas kaakit-akit ang susunod. Ngunit ginagawa itong mas kaakit-akit. So, they are kuan ang mga ang mga painters, di nila gibuhat nga mas tindot na siya sa sunod kundi gibuhat nila mas kanindot-tindot ang sunod because we are going to kuan mangita magud tag unsay kanang unsay pay murag kabuga sa next ba, so we're going to kuan about mas tindot gini siya mas kinaibuhat ang painter sa pag ang ginabuhat sa painter sa ilang mga paintings ginabuhat nila na mas more attractive ang susunod nga paint. Specifically defining visual stimuli as the artistic prompted participants to judge artworks depicting negative emotional content more positively, meaning like more. The pleasurable effect of negative emotions in art reception has been extensively investigated in the field of music. So, according to the Berkhima model elaborated by Jocelyn on 2013, enjoying sadness in music derives from combination of two mechanisms. So, the two mechanisms are the emotional contagon and aesthetic judgment. So, what are the difference between emotional contagon and aesthetic judgment? So, aesthetic judgment is a judgment based on feeling of pleasure and displeasure, while emotional contagon is an automatic adoption of emotional. So, aesthetic judgment is a ato feeling nga makuha na to sa kana nga certain thing. And then, ang kaning emotional contagon is at ang feeling nga atong ma-adapt dayon. So, in listening music, especially sad music, we're going to enjoy it and we can feel the sadness. Maminaw galit taog kanang sad music, nang ato dayon kuan din nato magamit din nato ang usa ka mechanism which is the emotional contagon to adopt automatically the emotion, especially when we hear and when we're listening to the sad music ato din siya ma-adapt, and without knowing that we are appropriate the beauty of peace by judging it aesthetical positive. So kadugayan natong paminaw sa music Kaya ato dayon na-adopt ang aesthetic judgment, which is the judgment based on feeling of pleasure. So, di ba, maminaw tag sad music, kadugayan natong paminaw, makasabot naman ta sa meaning sa kananga music. That is the use of aesthetic judgment. Some authors describe the beneficial effect of music listening of emotion, health, reporting that listeners are use music to enhance the emotions and regulate the negative emotion and affection. So the author described the benefit of listening music. So especially no na uban nga students na they are more concentrated sila if they're going to study with music. Just like us, mga limpyo ta ginahan tag music. So music help us in our emotional health. We're going sad, syempre we'll listen to music. We're happy, we'll listen to the music. The music we're going to play is our mood. If our mood ginahantag limpyo, so we're going to play the music that boosts our confidence, right? And then if you're syempre sad, so sometimes we're going to play sad music. If we're going to our feelings going to throw back o mag-play tag mga carpenters or mga songs na kinaraan. Kinaraan nga songs that usually give na play sa atong parents every Saturday morning and also in Sunday. So if we're going our mood reflect the music of choices we're going to play, and musics really help us in our to regulate our emotions.
According to Markovic 2012, the aesthetic experience is an exceptional state of mind. When opposed everyday, pragmatic experience and protects the individual from the effect of perceived reality. So aesthetic artwork, it can be portrait, a sculpture, or a piece of music that convey feelings of sadness. So why aesthetic is important in art? Aesthetic is important in art because it delves into reason why. Why has art always exist? The burning need of mankind through the ages to see the world in different and clearly. Aesthetic qualities refers to the way of artwork looks. So an aesthetic quality is a feeling the artist want to audience to feel. So ang aesthetic artwork is kanang kung usang feeling nga nabati sa artist mouse ang gusto sa artist nga ma-feel sa audience or sa viewers.